Democrats have literally welded the gates open in Arizona to allow all of this flow of illegal migration. What can you tell us?
It's really despicable. I mean, these are gates that are meant to open up during monsoon storms where we can get intense rain. And so they're meant to open up so that the debris can flow back and forth. Biden, the U.S. federal government, has gone down there and they have welded those gates wide open. I was just in the zone in Phoenix, which is the fastest growing homeless area in the country.
Joining me right now is Florida Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart. He's a member of the House Appropriations Committee and the chairman of the State Foreign Operations Related Programs Subcommittee on Appropriations. Congressman, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Will you be able to get help for the border in any of these appropriations bills?
We need to, and we are putting as much as we can into the appropriation bills policy-wise to force the administration to reverse course. You know, if there's an emblematic symbol of what this administration is doing on the border is what you've just been reported on, which is these gates are welded open. It is a welcome sign for folks to break the law. But more importantly, Maria, it's a welcome sign to the cartels, to these narco-terrorist cartels who are the ones who now control the border and who determine, by the way, who is entering the United States across the southern border.
Yeah, I understand that. But look, now we're up against a fight for funding the U.S. government by the deadline of September 30th. And you and your colleagues do not have all your appropriations bills finished. You're not going to be able to finish it within the 2 weeks once you get back to fund the government on time. What are you going to do?
I think we're going to have to do a short-term continuing resolution, unfortunately. Look, we lost 5 weeks when we should have been in session because of different circumstances, whether it was the election of the speaker and then a couple other weeks that were just taken away from us. So that has made it impossible to finish it on time. I will tell you the Appropriations Committee has passed all 12 bills out of committee. So now it's an issue of now having the time to pass them off the floor. And here's the important thing. These bills must pass so we can negotiate with the Senate. If these bills don't pass, if we don't negotiate with the Senate and we're stuck with what we call a long-term continuing resolution, we are embedding into law for another year the Nancy Pelosi, radical Democrat policies. So these subcommittee bills, this appropriation bills, have policy to reverse a lot of what Biden is doing. We need to get them across the line so we can go negotiate. And by the way, Maria, that's why it's important. I know they may not be perfect, but they are the best thing that we have to put us in a position to negotiate with the Senate. We have to get them done, and we have to get them done now.
Yeah, I understand that. Kevin McCarthy made the same point yesterday, but I spoke with Matt Rosendale, your colleague, earlier in the show, and he said, why would I vote for something that I just voted against in the debt ceiling debate? Why would I vote for a continuing resolution to keep spending where it is when, in fact, that's what I'm pushing back against? So does this open up the new fight about Kevin McCarthy as Speaker? I mean, where's this going?
I hope not, because again, we need to pass the appropriation bills to put us in the best position to negotiate with a lot of leverage against the Senate. If we don't have a short-term CR, we in essence are going to get stuck with the current bills. And so, look, it's the card that we're dealt with, right? These are the cards that we're dealt with. We have to pass the appropriation bills to put us in a position, strong position to negotiate with the Senate. I know a lot of people are saying, well, the bills are not perfect. Of course, they're not perfect, but they're the strongest appropriation bills, the most conservative appropriation bills in the history, I would argue, of Congress. And we're going to need the time to just get them done. And so I would just ask, if we can't get these bills done, are you willing, to my colleagues in Congress, are you willing to accept another year of the Green New Deal, of all of the, all of this trash, the left-wing trash that are in the current bills? If you don't like those, we have to pass these bills, which may not be perfect, but they're highly conservative. They would put us in strong positions to negotiate. Those are the options that we're facing right now.
What are the odds that you hold back money to the FBI for its new headquarters?
These appropriation bills have a number of different things. Let me tell you how dramatic it is. You mentioned that I chair the subcommittee that deals with foreign policy. So that's not border policy, right? But we have a provision there that says if the Secretary of State doesn't advance the negotiations, the remaining Mexico negotiations, which is part of the border bill, which I'm honored to be the main sponsor of, H.R. 2. If the Secretary of State doesn't do that, we hold back money from the Secretary of State's budget. So every subcommittee, every one of these appropriation bills have provisions that are strong conservative provisions, which is why we need to move forward on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens in the Senate. I mean, that's your other problem. Meanwhile, GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley is pushing to send armed forces to the southern border to target the drug cartels. She said we should treat the cartels as, quote, terrorists, Congressman. What is the answer to the border? What do you have in those appropriations bills regarding the border?
By the way, first, I think she's absolutely right. These are narco-terrorist cartels. They are responsible for the death of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Americans. And so we need to treat them as the pariah that they are and use every means at our disposal, and we have lots of them, if the government is willing to use them, to, again, confront these cartels. And so, yes, we have provisions to secure the border. We have provisions to push back on policy, but it requires moving these bills, and it's going to require doing a short-term continuing resolution to give us the time to bring these bills to the floor. That's the reality that we're facing, and we should never again be forced to have to accept another year of these horrific Nancy Pelosi appropriation bills, which is what we're on right now. And by the way, that also, these bills that we're currently on, not the Republican bills, the law that we're on right now has given all flexibility to Biden and to his administration to misuse and to do bad things with U.S. taxpayer money.
Yeah. All right. We'll be watching all of that. Congressman, thanks very much for being here. It sounds to me like we could seriously have a government shutdown, given where everybody is.
No, we need to pass the appropriation bills. We need to pass the appropriations bills, negotiate with the Senate, and force this darn administration to do their job.
In 2 weeks' time. All right, Congressman, we're going to be watching it. Thank you so much, Mario Diaz-Balart. We'll be right back.